I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world, and it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it, and then you got to live with the consequences of your action. Good morning. Welcome to the Bodysuits podcast with your host, Horisumi. So, as I've said in the last couple of podcasts, I'm just going to be doing stuff that's interesting from now on, and stuff that, instead of just talking about the same things over and over again, I'll just be making an episode when I've got actually something to say or something to present. And today is one of those days. So I've had Chaz here from America, my client that I've been doing a bodysuit on, that flies in and does like a week or two of tattooing straight. Some of you that follow me on Instagram would no doubtedly have seen the progress of his work over the last 7 years. And I just finished doing a week on him just now. He's flying back to America this morning. And so this week we did the tiger on the front, and we colored all that in. And I thought, you know what, now's a good time. I'm going to sit him down and we'll do a little interview. We'll talk about the process, his decision to get tattooed, and why he came to Australia to get tattooed, of all the places he could have gone. And so yeah, it's a little bit of insight if you're interested in getting a bodysuit or getting tattooed. A little bit of insight into the process and stuff. You can see here, this was the back piece that he got. That was his first tattoo. Flew in, we did this over multiple sessions, and then we outlined the front. You can see here the outline of the tiger. And then we did the sleeves at the same time, the peony sleeves. And yeah, big piece of work. So he's got a short suit now. We've got one more session to go, some re-outlining, some tidying up, a few touch-ups, and then I think he's going to take a little break, have a kid, and we'll see. Maybe we'll finish his lower legs at a later date, and hopefully we'll get him back to Australia for that. So without further ado, here's the interview between me and Chaz, and hope you enjoy it and you learn something from it. All right, Chaz. All right, buddy.
Good to see you.
Yeah, mate. So we'll do a little talk about your journey. A lot of people on Instagram have been following your bodysuit journey with me, which started in, I think, 2017. Is that right?
Yep.
You emailed me, wanted to get a back piece. You were living in San Francisco at the time.
Denver, I think.
Yeah?
I think it was Denver.
Okay.
Maybe Portland.
No, you moved to Portland afterwards. I thought you were in Frisco at the time.
I moved to Frisco in 2018.
So maybe it was 2018 then.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's go a little bit backstory. So you're in tech. You live in America. You've got no tattoos at all. And you're like, I want to get a back piece. So
Bodysuit.
Bodysuit.
Yeah,
okay.
I emailed you, I think, for a short suit,
Okay.
which is what we ended up doing. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you find me? Out of all the people in the world, what made you think I'm going to fly to Australia, make my life difficult, and get tattooed in Australia?
Yeah. Knowing what I know now, I mean, I'm glad I'm here, but it probably would have been easier not to go to Australia.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I found you on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, I found you on Instagram and was, growing up, as a kid, I used to collect tattoo magazines, and I loved big tattoos.
Right.
Back pieces, bodysuits. But I never wanted to get a tattoo. I figured if I would ever get a tattoo, I would do it right and get something really big. And so, in my 20s and I guess up to early 30s, it just wasn't a priority. I was working, doing career stuff, other stuff. And then in 2017, I went to Japan and was reminded about, big tattoos and Japanese artwork. And I really started going, considering it. And that's when I started looking around and seeing, what is the state of tattooing? What's the state of Japanese traditional tattooing? I really like that style.
Yeah.
And that's when I found, your work.
Okay. So you emailed me, and then usually I like to have an in-person consult, but because you're so far away, I think you took a tracing of your back for me on plastic.
Yep.
and traced it out, and then mailed that to me.
Yep.
You did a deposit.
Yep.
Little email consult. And then you rolled in for a week. I think you booked a week straight, right?
I think so, yeah.
And we did the out. So when you contacted me, I was doing everything by machine.
Yeah, you hadn't done tebori yet.
Right. So you were doing. So it would have been 2017 then, because I started tebori in 2018.
Yeah.
Because didn't I finish some of your? I finished some of your color in tebori.
All of my color, all of it is tebori. All of the background is machine, because when we started,
Right.
it was the background and the outline was machine.
Right. Okay.
And so we wanted to keep it consistent and not have
That's
that
right.
variation. So all of the shading.
So we did the outline machine, we did the background shading machine, and then we did the color through various trips. We went to London Convention together.
2019, I think.
2019, you came to London.
Yep.
You did your thing there. So for the people who, don't know, like, what was the experience like to come and do a week of tattooing, of having no tattoos at all? I mean, that's, people, when I post your story online, people always like, holy shit, tough guy, like,
Yeah.
you're a normal fucking dude. You don't really take drugs when you get tattooed. We don't use numbing cream. You're not doing any fucking, yoga breathing exercises or anything. You just kind of
Maybe I should.
you just kind of sit and take it, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
Yeah. I didn't know what I was getting into.
You didn't know what you're getting into,
No,
right? Okay.
I didn't.
And so we did the double dragon, right? We finished that, and you had a couple days left. Well, how many trips did it take to do your back? Do you remember?
That's a good question. At least two trips, at least.
So when we say trips, it's a week. Usually you do 4 or 5 days.
At one point I came over for like 3 weeks and just worked, remotely. And I used to do, now, this trip and other trips are like a week, but at one point I think I came over for like 21 days.
Yeah, right.
And we broke up our sessions. We do 2 days on, 2 days off, or, 2 days on, 3 days off.
I still recall that. We got a lot done.
Yeah, we did. And then by London, we were already in the middle of color. So we were doing color on my back.
Right.
And the dragon scales in London. That was 2019.
Yeah. Obviously, we had a bit of a COVID break. But we started your front before COVID, didn't we not?
Yeah, that was the last thing. So when we finished the back, we had some extra time, and I knew I wanted a short suit. And so we started talking about, do we do Munawari on the front or what?
Right.
And that we were having that conversation. And I had been thinking about, do we pause and take a break, do the back and have a break, or do we just keep going?
Yeah, we just kept going.
We just kept going.
I think I remember I drew your tiger up and we just kind of...
Yeah, we talked about it. You went home that night, drew the tiger up, came back the next day.
And that's the tiger that we're coloring in right now.
Yeah, it's the tiger, yeah.
Which we've done 3 days in a row now, which we've colored in pretty much all the orange. And today we're going to do a little bit of touch-ups, fix some stuff up, and maybe work on the white and the gray of the tiger's front. So all in all, would you say, you said before, knowing what you know now, you might not have come to Australia for the journey.
Well, not having picked anybody, that said, I don't.
You made it hard for yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
I thought of it as there's a lot of artists in the world, and I liked your style for how it's kind of like an old school, but like some people, how like a ukiyo-e prints or other things can look kind of not like cartoonish, but they can be like very bold. They can be like very like big designs, and it looks. I think your style is almost, I don't know, it feels like very traditional. And then your color choices are very dynamic. You use lots of color. And I like that. It really appealed to me. And I don't think I really knew exactly, how long it would take or anything. But that said, it's been, we started this before I was married. I don't have kids. Yeah. I have a job that allows me to work,
sure.
remotely.
And you get to come and visit Australia, and you've been...
Exactly.
Look, I don't generally invite strangers into my home. But, you came, you did a couple trips, and I think, did you stay in a hotel the first time? Or did you stay with us?
Airbnb. The very first time I
Right.
stayed in an
That's
Airbnb in, what's that neighborhood? North, kind of east of the,
Redfern?
no, east,
Surrey Hills?
north of Surrey Hills, east of the Anzac Plaza, Darlinghurst.
Okay.
What is that neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't know.
I stayed with two like metalheads,
Right.
and one of them was a tradie, and the other one was a hairdresser, and they were characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you stayed in Airbnb.
Airbnbs.
Then we hit it off. Then you stayed with us. And since we've got the farm now, it's a lot easier. You just come, you got your own place. We got a purpose-built accommodation here to hang out. So that worked out quite well. And what about the process? Have you enjoyed the... I mean, we have obviously very lively discussions and we talk a lot of shit to each other. Excuse me, but have you enjoyed the process of the tattooing and how it's sort of... I mean, without having been tattooed before, you don't have anything to compare it to, right? I'm sure you know a few people with tattoos and stuff, but how would you describe the overall experience of getting tattooed in the shop and getting big work in a very, the shop is very public, it's an open room, and the crew, and how have you found all that?
Well, the shop's fun, there's a lot of energy, there's music playing, there's people talking, there's always something, going on. Getting big work done in a shop, a lot of people are coming through the shop and they're getting, just like the majority of these, pieces are smaller pieces and, half sleeves, quarter sleeves, stuff like that. And so when you're doing big work in the shop, it's, everybody wants to see it, everybody wants to check out what's going on.
You kind of become the center of attention.
Yeah.
Especially when you're there multiple days in a row.
Yeah. Every artist wants to come over and see what you're doing and see how things are going and, learn, observe what's up. And the client's coming through and you see people who are getting a little tiny, quarter size tattoo for $50 or something. And they're just, you see their face just...
Yeah. Well, it's also in, like, even just the artist seeing you do like 2, 3 days, 4 days in a row. Like you've done, I think, 6 days in a row before.
Something like that.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
That's tough. Yeah.
And we also had some bad healing from that too, because your body kind of gives up, says no more.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of spacing stuff out, doing 2 days on, 1 day off, and you're healing great. I mean, your stuff we did on Monday is already flaking off and healed today. Yeah. Which is fantastic, which is how it should be.
Yeah.
I think when you're doing, 30 hours of work in a week, in a 5-day period, a 4-day period, your body just can't cope. Yeah,
at some point, the first day, the work from the first day heals, and then
progressively worse.
By the end, the work you do on the last day of a big stretch like that, it just kind of stops healing. Like your mutant healing factor just kind of gives up. And
now, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to yourself starting this journey from the beginning?
It's a good question. I mean, aside from like spacing stuff out, I think, one thing would be when we started the back is completely self-contained, and knowing that, I knew I wanted a bodysuit, and one thing we could have done is we could have connected
a little more integration.
Exactly, yeah. So, the pieces on the back, the background frames the back, and there's no... there's nothing that crosses
the line.
Yeah, and if you're only doing a back piece and, you're going to stop there, that's good. But if you're going to do a bodysuit, there's an opportunity to, whether it's...
Make it flow as one.
Exactly.
And I tell this to people all the time.
Yeah.
Start with the back and we'll, leave it open so that we can add stuff. But I think a lot of people, even though they might want to, I mean, even when you started your thing, you weren't about doing that. You were like, let's just start with the back and see how the back goes. Yeah, and I hear this a lot. People go back and go, I wish I would have made it a bigger scale or made it come outside the line. Committed, right? I mean, but you don't know. What you don't know, you don't know.
That's a lot. It's a big commitment. Especially, I didn't know any tattooers. I wasn't in the tattoo community at all. And so, if you knew people with big traditional work and stuff like that, maybe, I would have had more of an idea of what to say.
Yeah. But also you don't know yourself. I mean, you don't know me. You're flying out here, foreign country. Hey, let's do a whole bodysuit outline instead of just a back piece. You're like, whoa. Let's just do the back piece and see how it goes.
Getting married.
Exactly, right? So, but all in all, I mean, I think it worked out pretty well. It integrates nice from the front because we did the front all in one go.
Yeah.
We got the flowers in the front. We got the flower sleeves, which are nice accompaniments. The big fuck off tiger in the front. It goes real nice.
Once we did the back and we outlined the sleeves and the front all at once, so that was all planned, knowing that would be cohesive. And then you picked the color scheme for the flowers to complement the tiger, and everything really fits together.
Yeah, it's all coming together now. So we got one more session today, and then probably one more visit for touch-ups, some re-outlining, a little bit of recoloring, sort of tying it all together and stuff, and then the short suit is done. Now you're saying you might want to take a break, but we're also talking about doing the lower legs too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at some point. What I like about the short suit is that I can wear shorts and a long sleeve shirt like this, like in the summertime, and nobody knows.
Yeah, that's what I like. I mean, I've got the long suit, but I can wear cuffs and a pair of pants because I've got my ankles are quite high.
Yeah.
My ankle, and so I can wear like just regular pants and a pair of thongs or flip flops, and I like to be able to hide my stuff.
Yep.
Pretty much. I mean, I do have tattoos on my feet, no hand, no neck.
Yeah.
I like that. And if I could go back and not have gotten my feet tattooed, I definitely would. I much prefer to be fully.
It's nice to be able to pass.
Yeah, it's just nice to be stealth, right? Yeah. It's just nice to be stealth. It's one of the attractive things about Japanese tattooing, especially the Munawari style with the kimono open, and you can get a bare chest, got the 3/4 sleeves, the kimono ends here. It's a nice look, right? Yeah. It's a nice option to have. Yeah. Not because you're ashamed of your tattoos or anything, but sometimes you just don't want to fucking talk about them. You just
absolutely. It's nice to have, something that if it's like your secret,
exactly.
It's like your, you can choose who to let know or show it to. Exactly. I like, there basically it's you and my wife are the only people who ever see, the whole show. Yeah. In a lot of ways. And I like that. It's a beautiful piece of work that's very, very, very personal and intimate.
Well, that's how all Japanese tattooing used to be. That's before Instagram, right? And I talk about this all the time is, you go on Instagram like we all do, and you're looking at tattoos, and you're just like bodysuit, 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 and it just takes all the power out of it, right? And it just you become numb and desensitized to all these great artists doing great work, and you 100-hour back piece, and you're giving the guy a quarter of a second of like, whatever.
Yeah, that's what was kind of cool about going to, I had never been to a tattoo convention before London, and going with you in 2019, and being able to see, so many really high quality bodysuits and artists there was really, really cool. I mean, you see them obviously more than
maybe more than you, but I'm in my shop doing my thing. I don't do a lot of conventions.
And it's totally different than like Instagram or just looking at pictures. Actually seeing the work in person, it's really
and it's
really
even better when you go to Japan, like go to Sanjo Matsuri Festival, and you're seeing work that there are no photos of apart from the festival photos. Yeah, they're not in magazines, they're not on Instagram so much. These are legit gangster bodysuits that no one sees, right? I mean, you see them like a couple of times a year, maybe one time a year at the festival, and it's for them and their friends and their family, and that's it. That's that's the power of what Japanese tattooing was. Is it was mysterious. You might catch a glimpse if a guy rolled his sleeve up or had his collar open, but it wasn't meant to be in your face all the time.
Yeah, right? And that's a big. I mean, with the aesthetics of the background and then the subjects, often you have subjects like animals or flowers or lots of nature, but then the background and the use of negative space with the wind elements or water or rock, that's part of what drew me to Japanese
what's the power of it, right? I mean, the Japanese tattoo masters will tell you, I don't care about your dragon or your phoenix. They're looking at your background. Right? And I learned this early on. So when I went to get my work critiqued by the masters in Japan, they're not looking at your drawings. They're looking at your background, how you compose your backgrounds, how your backgrounds interact with the body. That's what makes or breaks a Japanese tattoo. You can have a fucking awesome dragon and a really wrong, fucked up background, and it's a terrible tattoo. But you can have a real ordinary dragon, like basic as shit, with a fucking bang on correct background, and that's an awesome tattoo.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what a lot of people don't fucking get. Because the background's what makes it, right? That's why you get to really pay attention to that and how it works with the body and the density, the thickness of the wind bars, how the swirls work, what direction they go. All this stuff is the most important thing. So from a distance, when you're looking at your back piece or your bodysuit from a distance, it exudes that power. It just stands on its own. You're not seeing a bunch of mistakes, right? And I think that's kind of part of the art of it that's lost, on the Instagram generation. I was thinking the other day, like before Instagram, which I think I got on Instagram in maybe, 2010, I think. Before that, man, we just tattooed for tattooing. When I started in '93, I was just, you take photos, you try to get a photo with your film camera. You might bust out a roll of 36 and get like 3 good photos that didn't have a glare on them or shitty fucking lighting or something. But you tattooed for the sake of tattooing, right? It was because you enjoyed the craft, you enjoyed making tattoos, you wanted to make the customer happy, and do your art. And somewhere along the way, when social media became a thing, I always really cared about my portfolio. I always took lots of pictures and curated a really big, it was like this thick, I have in the shop still, thick as a telephone book, photo album of all my little tattoos, my big tattoos, my Japanese tattoos, and I was always interchanging and curating and keeping a nice portfolio. And that was important as a tool to show clients what you're capable of, sharing with other artists, comparing stuff, learning stuff. But then when social media came about and it all just became a big fucking ego contest, right? And a lot of tattooers have only ever tattooed in that era, right? It's really changed, I think, the face of tattooing.
I'm sure, and there's a lot of tattoos that look good to somebody who doesn't know tattoos on Instagram, but are shit tattoos. They're not, they're not going to last. They're not going to hold up. They're not,
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily know that.
Well, you wouldn't know that, right? The average person doesn't know that. I get people all the time that DM me. They're like, oh, hey, I got this. Can you fix it? Can you add to it? I'm like, nah, I feel for them. Maybe there's not much I can do. But I don't bitch too much about that stuff. So we should probably get to work. So all in all, you had a good time, good experience?
Oh, yeah. It's the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You like Australia?
I love Australia. That's one thing too, if I had known, I don't know. I mean, I really liked your style and your artwork, and that was, I think the thing. And I said, okay, there's great artists in America. There's great artists in Europe and London and all over. But coming to Australia, meeting you and the people, and I've made, friends here that I could never have known what to expect, but now that I've spent the last 7 years,
it's been a while.
It's been a while. And it'll probably be a while longer.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And it's really been an incredible experience.
Cool, man. Awesome, dude. I'm glad we've come this far, and you got some skin left on you, dude. So.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for talking,
right.
mate.
Thanks, Kian.
All right, dude. Thanks for watching, guys. I gotta get to work. I'll see you guys next time.